another big French mission, but this time it was different. I was going on my own, and the session would last for well over a month. This trip turned out to be the greatest adventure of my lifetime.
I wish I could speak French. What does all this mean? Whatever happens now, I'm a happy man. Quite possibly the best carp I've ever caught in my lifetime.
The trip didn't really get off to the greatest of starts. Definitely not what I planned anyway. I had to drive to Rotterdam instead of driving into France to pick up a boat battery that unfortunately didn't arrive in the post a few weeks prior.
Well, this isn't quite the public lake adventure I promised everyone. I've ended up in the middle of, I think I'm in Belgium now.
I was in fact in Belgium, just for the night. I should have gone to sleep, but the excitement got the better of me and I had to get the rods out.
I couldn't sleep. I had a fish at 3 in the morning, tiny little common, and I tried to go back to sleep and I actually couldn't. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna get up, packing down and getting everything in this car once again. I packed up very early that morning, just on sunrise, and then drove through Luxembourg and finally back into France where I want to be fishing.
I arrived at the first lake, all guns blazing and wanting to get fishing, but unfortunately the lake was busy, really busy, and I could barely slot into any day zone. On top of that, the lake was flooded, and after a good think, I decided that the lake was
not quite tickling my fancy.
So I was off to pastures new.
Jesus, big old potholes. Oh. I hope I can turn around somewhere because I don't want to reverse through that. Okay. Well, there's access to the shallows. I think we might have found somewhere to fish. No, next. Another lake, quick pit stop. Nope. Off to the next. Well, I'm at another lake. Nope. Don't like it. And after visiting 5 lakes, I arrived here. I'm knackered, I'm not fishing. I'm gonna put the bivvy up and then reassess in the morning. I slept through the night in the car park last night, and this morning, very early morning, I've been boated off to here. It is very muddy, but it looks good. I've seen a couple of fish and I cannot wait to get started. There's a lot of different reasons why I'm doing this. I've always wanted to live out here for a substantial amount of time, and I'm having a bit of a rubbish year, to be honest. 2025 hasn't been the greatest fun. And you're coming with me through all the ups and downs, because I'm sure there's going to be many of them. And I'm very tired, but I'm going to power through, get the rods out, and hopefully over the next 30 nights I might be able to show you a carp or two.
One by one I deployed the rods, using the deeper to try and find any fluctuations in depth, hard spots or depressions amongst the barren, resi lakebed.
Well, as you can see, the rods are all set up, and yeah, it was an absolute nightmare, to be honest. Getting all the kit into this swim. This mud is pretty disgusting. It means every time you lift something through, you sink about half a foot. I've thrown down a load of sticks and stuff to give myself a bit of purchase. This lake isn't huge. It's pretty big, but it isn't massive. This weather is very welcome after a very rainy night last night. Means a couple of bits can dry off. I need to keep the supplies for maybe further down the trip, where I end up in south of France and I get some crazy storms up in the mountains or something. Well, I'm not really ashamed to admit it, but I fell asleep all afternoon and sort of feel more able to make decisions and do the right thing, and wasn't pleasant at all of that driving. I really felt fatigued, and it really took it out of me. I've sorted my bivvy out. Obviously the rods are still out there. There's actually a hatch, I think, going on at the minute, because there's a load of, I think they look like swifts or swallows. It's meant to drop off quite cold tonight to about 2 degrees, so not sure how that will affect the fishing.
Night fell and the hours of darkness were completely quiet. I woke up in the morning with a very bad feeling.
Well, as you probably can tell, I've moved, and I got up this morning and had a good look out at the water, and it seemed that the fish that were holding up right out there in front of me weren't anymore, so I packed the boat away. I'm quite happy to get out all of that mud, to be honest. It was, it wasn't very nice over there. Everything got completely caked in mud.
I was broken, my mind and my body. 19 hours of driving that first day, I'm not ashamed to admit, really sent me spiralling. I went to France to get away from my bad thoughts, to get distracted by something I loved. I guess it was naive to think they wouldn't follow me out there. Night fell and morning came round. It looked perfect, but I wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to film. I didn't really want to be there, to be honest. The idea that I had for so long of my month trip out in France, this wasn't it. This wasn't what I imagined. This wasn't what I dreamt about. My tiredness really didn't help my decision making. I thought moving from lake to lake I'd finally find what I went out there for, so I decided to pack up again. Only for my barrow to tip up, spilling my limited supply of tiger nuts all over the gravelly floor.
Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Oh no, I've got a hole in my boat. I kind of was expecting it, to be honest. I knew if I was out here for this amount of time that things would go wrong. Really think that everything would go wrong within the first few days of me being here.
I patched up the boat and needed some time to myself. I needed to be in nature, doing what I loved, surrounded by the gorgeous French scenery. Sitting there in the depths of France, surrounded by nothing but birds and the odd mosquito, I really felt lucky that I had fishing. And it was sitting there, here on the banks of this mighty French resi, where for the first time on my trip, my mindset changed. I was out there doing what I loved, and through the tiredness and lack of sleep, I finally felt that feeling of being content with where I was. With the rods out, I embraced the peaceful evening, ready to wake up the following morning and get the trip properly underway.
Well, how about that for the first carp of the trip? An ancient mid-30 French public lake mirror. And this carp makes everything over the past couple of days feel worth it. It has been a struggle. Everything that has gone wrong, or could go wrong, has gone wrong, if that makes sense. Holes in the boat, nights not gone to plan, buckets turned over, not finding the fish on lakes, everything has built up to this moment, and what a carp that is. Looks like an old crusty canal fish, let alone one of these massive reservoir carp. What a sick fish. I am so happy. What a start to my 30-night session in France. This really will stick in my brain for a very long time, because wow, just look at it. Look at it. What a carp. Whatever happens now, I'm a happy man. Would you look at that? I felt like I kind of deserved it, to be honest. I have put my heart and soul into everything this week, and had nothing to show for it. The trip is underway, we're going somewhere, and hopefully all the disasters and dramas are put behind me, and it can only get better. Touch wood, I don't want to jinx it. I've actually just been picked up by a tench, and I think that's because I was using little yellow tippers on the rods, and I quite like it usually, but stand out a little bit and something that the carp can hone in on at night. But unfortunately in the days, I think when the carp move up the arms, I think the tench move in, and kind of my spots are sort of slicking up at the minute, and I don't think that's the carp, unfortunately. I think that's the tench. So I was fishing with this, 2 24 millers and then a little tipper, but I think I'm going to take the tippers off and just fish 2 standard bottom baits, just to try and keep the rods out there during the day in case a carp actually does come along and pick it up.
I said my mind was in a better place, and it was, to be honest, but I was still making some stupid decisions. I felt like I conquered this lake, and it was time to head elsewhere.
I think you've had enough of each other, to be honest.
No, we definitely haven't had enough of each other.
Or just Burns in a moany mood.
Yeah, literally that, yeah. That's a top trip. You're worse than me, you You're worse than me.
I've done a lot of moving this trip, and it's time to move again. Fish aren't here, can't find them, then it's time to carry on the adventure. It is actually Easter Sunday today. I actually do have an Easter egg somewhere. But happy Easter, and hopefully I find somewhere good I can have an Easter carp by the time it strikes midnight.
With a new lake that I was happy to fish, I was racing against the light to get the rods out. I found the carp tucked up away in a bay, not too far away from where I could park the car. The rods were deployed for my very first time at Easter. It was time to sit back and indulge in some chocolate. Just on sunset, I was into a carp. This fish didn't feel big, but it was fighting like an absolute steam train. I did my best to get it away from the snags, and luckily for me, I managed to get it into the open water. It was freezing cold at this point. The fine, wet rain smashed against my face as I was playing this fish, but I really wanted to get it into the net.
Thankfully, one of my rods has gone. I'm fishing a day zone, so these rods have got to come in about 20 minutes. You get an hour after sunset, so I should be fine. And yeah, it's not the biggest carp in the world, but it's a start, and it means I found them and I'm in the right area. Big move, paid off. Thank you very much, carp. You're going back and tell your big grandmother to pay me a visit. Very, very happy indeed. Right, let's get these rods in, hit the sack, and get the rods out early tomorrow morning. Well, good morning, and I've woken up pretty groggy this morning, to be honest. I'm doing it. I've already got a couple of the rods out onto the spots. A bit later than I wanted. I slept in a little bit this morning, which is a bit of a shame. A couple of the rods are out there. I've actually got one here ready to go out, and I thought I'd just take you through what I'm actually using on this trip. Won't be a surprise to you, my Illusion D-rigs. I've actually got a little bit of shrink tube instead of the kickers. I think I've run out, so that's on a size 2 wide gate curve hook. Couple of 18mm Cremino hardened hook baits with a bit of plastic fake corn. I'm using this on here just because I've seen in the margins that there's a lot of the poisson chat, which is a small catfish basically, and they're savage. They'd whittle down your baits into little dumbbells within minutes. That's mounted onto a leg clip with about a 12-foot Illusion mono leader. I've stretched that out before I tow out there. And I was actually sitting down this morning thinking about the fish last night, and it was all a bit of a blur, to be honest, with the wind and the rain. And I actually realised, I didn't actually say on camera, that's my first ever Easter carp, so I'm very, very happy about that. Well, I've actually just lost one. Yeah, absolutely fizzed off, and I managed to get it away from the first set of snags. And then it kind of kited left a bit, just up here, and got into a second set. And I jumped in the boat, got over it, and I could see it, and it was big, and it was a lovely mirror. And I felt its tail, and the wrist of its tail was so thick, and it was yeah, it was thick across its back. And then the hook pulled after about 20 minutes of getting it through sticks and whatever. So yeah, I'm gutted. Just got the rod back out just there, and yeah, I'm just hoping and praying I get another chance. That was big, very, very big. 50-pound big. Don't even say it. Right, let's have some breakfast. Well, I've just been told that French sausages have plastic on them. I know it's meant like sausages usually have intestine or whatever they used to use. That's actual plastic. I've been eating bin bag. No wonder I've got stomach problems. Well, after that very large lost fish earlier, I'm very happy that I've got a second chance, and what a cool carp it is. It's actually gave me a super hard fight up in the margins, and luckily I didn't have to go out in the boat, got it away from the snags. But what a lovely, lovely carp. The bigger one that I lost, I saw it, it looked like this, but imagine it 3 times bigger. Look at this for a public lake carp. Very, very nice. Look how angry it is. Very happy indeed. What a cool gold one. Oranges are beautiful on it. Cool little starburst scales as well. One last lift. Wicked. It's getting into evening now, and I've just had another one actually. Another small fish. Didn't even bother to get the cameras out and stuff. Yeah, it looks good this evening, to be honest. The wind's dropped off, it's actually got a bit warmer, which is nice. I need to tidy the swim up and then probably get the rods in for another good night's sleep. I can't believe I've eaten plastic. Plastic.
Well, it's a gorgeous sunrise, and the rods are all ready from last night. Rods aren't in, but they're about to be, and it's flat calm, perfect conditions to get them out. So I'm going to jump in the boat, take them out. Let's do this. Oh, it's early. My eyes are barely open.
It's a little bit chilly this morning, and I had my alarm set for 6:30, where I got up, downed about a gallon of water, and then had all the rods ready to get out. I'm actually only going to fish 3 rods because I'm fishing up into a sort of bay up to my right, and there's not really space. I mean, I could spread the others round closer to me, but I haven't had any fish on them except from the first evening. So I'm going to fish 3 over there and then leave 1 ready to go when hopefully I catch one. But yeah, what a lovely morning it is. It's peaceful and calm, and the wind has stopped and there's no rain. Yeah, this is what it's about. Being out in those early mornings for weeks on end really makes you appreciate nature on a whole different level. I feel like I'm the only human in the world right now that's awake and up and seeing all this, and I suppose that's what makes this so special. I'm looking at the rod tips because I'm hoping one of them will hoop round. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. Give them an hour or 2 and hopefully I'll have one on the bank to show you. Well, the rods have been only out for about 10 minutes and I've already got one. And again, it's a small little common, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. Not a bad way to start the day. Let's get you back, and as I told your other mates, tell your bigger ones to pay us a visit. Wicked carp. Let's get them back.
Unfortunately, I only had the rods out for about an hour before a load of rowing boats came up and down, completely wiping me out. It was impossible to fish.
I think my time is better spent somewhere else, hopefully, where there's a few more bigger ones. So I'm gonna quickly get this last rod in, get the last few bits into the car, and then head off. Well, that's this lake done. Whew, I'm sweaty. Right, let's do it. Let's move. Let's drive somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I'm gonna drive off and you're gonna come with me. So I'm gonna run over here, get this camera, and then we're gonna go. Well, it's been a crazy afternoon driving through France, and I've actually arrived at another lake. It is blowing beautiful southwesterlies. Clouds are definitely threatening a bit of rain. I've actually driven into the car park of one of these lakes, and I've actually met Liam, one of the Baitworks lads, fishing a swim quite close to it. I recognised the English reg, and yeah, it was quite funny to welcome him from back out on the boat when he was coming back in, dropping one of the rods. He very kindly offered for me to jump in with him, possibly just for a night. I think he's only got one left. He had a few last night, and he said that because he's actually fishing so spread out, 2 rods either side, there's actually a load of space in the middle. And one of these lakes, we're fishing up one of the arms, and I can access the far margin where a load of snags are. So I think I'm going to jump in the boat, get it all pumped up, get my bivvy up, and get the rod sorted. I'm pretty wrecked after a bit of a drive and a very hot pack up. But like I said, it's cooled off now, and yeah, I'm ready to get going, get a bit of bait done, and I think we're going to go out there. He's got a cool bit of kit, a bit of an underwater camera that you can drop off from the boat. So we're going to have a look for spots, have a little look, see what happened to his spots last night, and go from there.
Yeah, we're back out here now. I'm going to stick the camera down just to make sure everything's c'est bon, and yeah, hopefully we can sort a few out tonight.
With Liam's rods deployed and having a great look with the underwater camera, even seeing boilies drop onto our spots, it was my turn to locate a few areas where I wanted to present a couple of rigs.
What is it? Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be touching that. I think we've got a really, really good chance of a couple this evening. Like I said, we've got so many rods out there, 7 between us, that I'd be very surprised if we didn't have any. Well, I can't believe what has just happened. After getting the rods out just after the rain, luckily it all stopped and it's clearing up now. It's actually getting a bit sunny. My rod must have been out no longer than 25 minutes, and it's pulled up tight, locked up with a stake in the back of the rod to stop it getting into the snags. And yeah, I've landed my first 40 of the trip, and what a cool carp it is as well. Well, that really hasn't taken long at all. It's the first fish from this lake, and wow, I'm very, very happy. What a cool carp that is. Moving, definitely paid off, and massive thanks to Liam for letting me jump in here with him just for the quick night. It's a proper French carp. Sick. Thank you very much, fish. Thank you very much. Well, it's getting dark pretty quick now, and we've just got a bit of food on. A couple of toasties to start us off. They're our starters. What's for mains? What are you having? Bit of pasta?
Bit of pasta.
I think I'm gonna finish off the sausages. Whoa! Do you see that?
No.
I think that was a carp. Small one though. Well, good morning, and it's a little odd this morning. I have been up all night, I'm absolutely wrecked, and I've caught lots of fish. But I've got nothing to show you because I slipped a carp into a net and then I actually put another fish into another net that was doubled up with another fish. So I had 3 fish in the net and it was about 4 in the morning, and to be honest, I was falling asleep on my feet and I couldn't get the rod back out. So I went to bed thinking, brilliant, I've got 3 fish to photograph in the morning. Woken up this morning with a massive hole in my net and the other one has jumped out of the net. So it's very, very strange. I've put in a hell of a lot of effort and there's literally nothing to show. Little odd. I'm feeling a little odd this morning. There's no rods left out. Liam's just packing up. He's off now, but luckily he managed to catch a few, and luckily for him, they stayed in his nets.
Mate.
Holy. Holy fuck.
Bloody hell.
That's a large carp.
That is a big carp. This is the biggest of 6 takes, landed 5. What a mad end to a couple of weeks fishing. Like, left it all down to the wire and it's all come good really. So I'm going to be going home soaked and wet and happy. Ordeal. Ooh. Mate. Oh God. My hands are so far apart.
Liam was gone and I spent the day recovering from the night's action. I did take a quick trip out in the boat, once again checking the spots with the underwater camera.
And as I was coming back, I saw a van in the car park and it had English plates on it, so I thought I'll go and say hello if whoever's in there doesn't come round. They did come round and it ended up being another fox lad that I didn't realise that was out here. Andy Maker, he's coming from a lake a bit further south and has decided to come here. He's never been here before, decided to come here for a night or two. So I said, well, you're more than welcome to get the rods out next to me. I'm having them. So just as Liam did for me, I've done for Andy, and he's just out there now in the boat getting the rods out.
So young Otto here has just taken a rod out at some 350, 400 metres, got back to the bank, steps off of the boat and it's gone off in his hand.
Unfortunately though, it went straight into the snags. I had to jump into the boat to hopefully extract it.
I see it. It's a tiny one. That is the smallest carp I've ever seen in my life. There you go. Unstuck. Whoa. Under the boat now.
The feisty little mirror dived straight back into the snags and got itself tangled up. Which meant from here I had to handline to try and get it out safely. The carp had got itself really tangled up, and the only safe way to land the carp was unhook it in the water and lift it into the net.
Oh my God. How have I done that? How have I done that? I'm kind of speechless. Didn't even have time to flick the bobbin on and it went pretty much in my hands. Absolutely ridiculous. High 20, if not 30, I reckon, but doesn't matter when it's from a lake of this size. They all mean a hell of a lot more. Very, very nice.
So I'm not a proud man and I've had a really hard couple of weeks. I've been to Shanty, I've done the Rhone Valley and I ain't caught a carp yet. So we're on our way to Otto's spot with one of my rigs. Watch this space. Oily is what they want, I think. properly poached.
Yeah, we've had a lovely afternoon catching up and sharing stories about our trip so far and his trip and everything like that. It's been very nice indeed. I've just had a couple of liners on my left-hander. I think I'm going to actually go out there and re-drop it because I really do think the fish come here, they clear you out very quickly. If they don't pick you up straight away, then they'll move off. They'll have eaten all the bait and you'll end up fishing a single. So I'm going to get that rod back out there. I've stitched up the net as well, so they're not going to escape from the net. And hopefully, between us, we might have a couple in the night. What I've done is I'm only fishing with 2 rods tonight. The 2 rods that are gone. I've got the other 2 ready to go with a couple of extra rigs as well. So fingers crossed for an action-packed night again, and this time they don't swim out of the net, because that would be a bit unfortunate. Well, it's been another very busy night, but a bit of a change from last night because I've got a couple to actually show for my efforts. Unfortunately though, the fish last night were about 3 times the size of this, although they're all welcome from a lake like this. Yeah, very small common, but to be honest, I'm more excited to get the other one out because what a carp that is. It looks scaly and it looks big, so yeah, I think I'll slip this one back and get on with having a look at the other one. What a lovely common. Well, how about that for a very special carp indeed. What an amazing fish. I've really never caught too many amazing scaly ones, but it seems that this trip I'm catching quite a few, with that very old carp at the beginning and now this. What a cool fish. It fought like it was 20 pounds bigger and had whiskers. It fought like a catfish. But yeah, I'm so happy to get into something like this. All that effort the past couple of weeks, it's paid off, and thankfully as well, they're not escaping from the net, so I've got a couple to show you in the morning. Look at that. Gorgeous carp. They're not all paley white and massive in France. There can be carp that looks like this as well, and I had no idea it was in here. Oh, how about them for some French public lake carp? It's been a long night. We were up till the very early hours. We almost saw the sunrise, to be honest. Getting rods out, getting more bait out, and luckily for you, Andy, you've managed.
I'd had a tough couple of weeks, and on the drive back I just decided to pop into a few more lakes just for one last throw of the dice. And who do I bump into? Young Otto here, who's catching a few. So I joined him for a couple of nights.
And I think it's exactly what you needed. Look at that. 2
superb,
perfect carp. Good juggling.
Ellis, get it.
Coming out here, it was hard that first week, and I put in a lot of effort. I moved so many times. I caught a couple of nice fish, but I'm relaxed now. I feel like I'm here. I'm probably going to head south tomorrow, past my grandparents. I might stay with them for a couple of nights just to recharge all the batteries, all the power packs, all the cameras, all the drones, everything. Yeah, sort all my gear out, tie a couple more rigs because I've got through them. Have a look how much bait I have left because I have been putting in quite a bit here. But like I said, I'm going to chill out today, completely relax, and try not to get picked up by another pike angler.
I caught a couple more carp that night. And to be honest, I caught a few more that I hadn't shown you from the night before. But I don't just want to be making a film with me saying how happy I am picking up carp. That isn't the real reason I was there. I was in search for something, a feeling of complete freedom alone in nature. And I guess I hadn't completely felt like that on this trip. But I did have 3 weeks left. 3 weeks left out in France to discover, explore, and find myself present in that freedom. In search of tranquility.